Welcome back to Project 94 for another Diecast review here on the channel. Today, we're going to be taking a look at another 2023 NASCAR Diecast. Here's Erik Jones and his 2023 Allegiant Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 for Legacy Motor Club. I keep saying Legacy Motor Sports, but Legacy Motor Club. Another diecast of theirs. This one's going to go really well with the Sunseeker Resorts car, because these are pretty cool sponsors to have on these cars. These are both, to my knowledge, they're both Gallagher companies. So that's really, it's kind of odd to think about, because like Gallagher has a part in Legacy Motor Club, and like he's putting most of his funding into these cars. So it's just something that the petty guys can feed off of, as well as Jimmy Johnson. But the paint schemes are pretty nice, and this one, I gotta say, I like this one a lot. Pretty cool diecast. So, let me get some close-ups of the box, because for some reason, people really care about the box. Even though all the boxes are the same for these cars, so really nothing special about the box, but I'm gonna show it anyway. This is just a full product overview. But yeah, it's really cool to have another Erik Jones number 43 diecast. Of course, there's... Shout out to Simon Toyo Sports, because I know he likes to collect Richard Petty diecasts. So I guess this still counts, right? Because Petty's still in there. I mean, even though it's mostly Jimmy Johnson. But it's got the number 43 on it. So yeah, guys, really cool diecast for the Legacy Motor Club / Petty GMS guys / Petty Motorsports. I mean, they've gone through so many rebrandings over the years. Man, so many rebrandings. And this is just one of many, the Legacy Motor Club name. So here is the Allegiant number 43 out of the box, and I gotta say, pretty nice car. I do like this scheme. It is simple in a way, but it does work. And of course, the Legacy Motor Club team identifier stuff really makes it pop out even more than it probably would have if it didn't have it, if it was just a standardized scheme. Pretty nice car. So let's get this diecast review on. So here in the front of this thing, you got number 43, Legacy Motor Club. And of course, the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 front end of this thing, which is a bit crooked, a little bit off. Of course, you're going to have the Allegiant logo on the hood with the two ZL1 logos. You have the hood vents as well, which are the Acura 2023 hood vents. And they don't really cut off the Allegiant as much. Of course, you have Chevrolet Jones. You got Sunoco. You have Goodyear, NASCAR Cup Series, a cut-off 75th anniversary logo for NASCAR. Of course, Goodyear is in white on this diecast. Of course, on the wheels, you have the yellow Goodyears with the gray rims. Of course, you get the number 43. You have Erik Jones' name. And, man, I'm going to try to read those sponsors up there. Oh, I see what happened. Man, they really... Dang, that is a pretty bad decal mess-up right there. That right there is supposed to say Legacy Motor Club. Right there in that little gold box. But this diecast, the quality of that B-pillar sticker is so bad. I mean, look at that. Look at that. There's barely even a decal there. Holy cow. And there's a paint chip. Man, this whole B-pillar is screwed up. Look at this side. And you could read the sponsors. And unfortunately, I'm not able to read what it says in green. But that's a sponsor right there. But look at this side. Everything is just messed up. Jeez. Anyways, outside of that, that wasn't planned to be in that diecast review. Of course, you got Erik Jones' name, which I hope they got that right. You have Allegiant, you got Club Wyndham, Safety Clean, Mac Tools, SEM, and dang, what does it say there? I really can't read that sponsor, sadly. Of course, you got Allegiant, STP, U.S. Air Force, which they're going to have a pretty nice diecast this year. So yeah, pretty cool looking sponsors on this car. You have Chevrolet, Allegiant, and I could barely make out that Legacy Motors Club logo under that taillight right there. Jeez. I could barely make that out. Wow. Yikes. Got number 43, Camaro ZL1. Of course, with the Allegiant. No rear view camera on this one. Of course, you got the bolted spoiler right there. The pop rivets on the spoiler. You have Allegiant, Jones. Of course, got Allegiant on the roof and the number 43. So now it's time for the paint scheme review. So this thing is spray painted in a pretty interesting shade of blue. It's not like a dark blue or anything. It's almost like a mix, like a weird, like, you know what happens when you're in an art class and you get curious about mixing paint colors, and you get like blue and white. And of course, when you mix the colors, the blue outweighs the white, and then you get like this lighter shade of blue, but it's not like a light sky blue or dark blue either. It's sort of in the middle. I kind of like that shade of blue, honestly. It looks pretty nice. I gotta say, it works for this car. Like, any other shade of blue would have made it look generic. So now for the paint scheme itself, black splitter, black spoiler, and black roof rails. And now it's time for the paint scheme itself, because the whole valence as well is also black. It's going to go underneath the OEM details with the iconic Legacy Motor Club golden stripe, which is the gold foil, the Fool's gold foil. And we got a, ooh, is that a paint chip? Yep, that is a paint chip on the 43. So, yeah. Wow, that's what a way to respect an iconic number in NASCAR. You got a paint chip right on the fort. And to me, that doesn't look like that's going to come off, because that looks like a gray paint chip. Man, isn't that wonderful? Gray paint chips on brand new diecast out of the box. Oh, man. Of course, you have the side markers are black, which is attached to the underbody on the real-life car. The full gold stripe going across. Got that bit of the gold stripe on the quarter panel and on the back as well. And, of course, the side pillars of the window and the roof rails are going to be painted black. And that would have been the gold detailing on both sides, but they had to mess it up on this side, the right side. But you get the idea, it would be there. So the black side pillars and all that stuff. And now for the number. We have a gold shadow with a white number fill-in, which of course the Fool's Gold Shadow, just like all the Legacy Motor Club diecasts. Of course, it's going to be on the side as well. And a bit on the number 43 in the front right there, and on the back as well. I do like that they actually did the Fool's Gold for these Legacy Motor Club cars. It really enhances the look of these. It wouldn't have helped if they just did the flat color. That would have looked probably bad. Excuse me. You have the front of this thing, which is going to be all that blue color. On the hood, you're going to have that yellow. What's funny about it is, it's like a yellow-orange, but it's got a gradient to the stripe. So you got a bit of the gradient right there. Of course, got a bit of the triangle because the Allegiant logo cuts off the stripe. It's like they inserted like a square that was the same color, and they made it invisible and just cut off the stripe right there. Which I like the way that looks. That's not a bad look. Of course, it matches the color of the sunset logo of the Allegiant, which is really nice. But I like that they actually did the gradient on the stripe. That's pretty cool. So more the front half is more yellow. And behind the number 43, you got some of that orange gradient fading back into the yellow and fading back into the orange. And it cuts off the stripe at an angle. And it's going to stop right there. It doesn't continue all the way to the back or anything like that. It's just all plain blue from there. On the door of this car, you have a pretty nice looking stripe. So it starts out poking the headlights, and it's going to slash through the wheel well, slash under the NASCAR 75th logo, through part of the 43, swoops down, leaves a bit of blue, and swoops onto the side and gets cut off at an angle. It's like that it's not messing around with these contingency sponsors. Would have been hard to frame those with that stripe, so that's why they cut it there, which looks cool. Like a stripe towards the front, and then, of course, the sunset. And this is probably my favorite part of this car. On the rear quarters of this car, you have that sunset logo stretched out. So it's not only touching the rear, well, not on the hips, because it's way under the hips, but the rear quarter panel. So not only is the sunset filling the quarter panel, but it's also filling in parts of the back corners of the bumper. That looks cool. You look at it from this angle, man, that makes it look nice. I love that. And of course, on top of that, it's got the gradient yellow circle in the middle of it. Of course, it fades because it's supposed to look like a sunset, right? And of course, it fades into the orange for the rest. So yeah, the gradient details really made this pop out. I'm glad they did that, because if they just did these like a plain orange or a yellow color, it would have been bland. So pretty cool to see that. Of course, you got the biofuel logo right there. And really, that's it. It's a pretty simple scheme, but noticing those gradient details on the striping of this car, it makes it look that much cooler. And on top of that, the black and gold, this to me, it doesn't clash. Like, you think like that color scheme would clash with the black and gold, but it doesn't, man. It looks pretty cool. This is a really awesome scheme for Erik Jones. Probably going to be one of his iconic schemes, because he does run this a lot. Seems to run it a lot, that is. kind of like a primary scheme like Focus Factor was. But yeah, really nice car. I'd say the selling point for this would be the stripes with the yellow and the orange gradient, and of course on the sunset as well. Like they enlarged that logo of theirs. Because it's Allegiant, you got to make their symbol pop out on the car if you're designing in the paint scheme. It's pretty basic stuff, right? But it's a nice looking car. I'm going to give you guys a 360 view of it. So here's the front of this car. Here's the hood. Here's the right side. I think I kind of went fast with the hood. Here's the hood. Here is the right side of this thing. Here's the back. Of course, the black side markers. And the exhaust. Here's the back. Here's the deck lid. Here's the roof, which, by the way, that 43 striped sticker seems to be slid a little bit up to the right side. It's really not centered. I mean, I definitely would have made sure that was centered before putting it on the diecast, but yeah, guys, that clearly does not line up that great on the roof there. Here's the left side, which is the same as the right side with that lovely paint chip. And here is the underbody. And that is going to be it for the 2023 Erik Jones Allegiant 164 for Legacy Motor Club. Thank you all for checking out this diecast review. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next diecast review on the channel. And always remember to make sure that you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecast.